Today, I get to talk about filter, which is exciting because I feel like a lot of the array methods I've done videos on are array methods I've never used, and some I've never even heard of. But filter is not one of those methods. Filter is a very useful, very powerful, extremely common array method that I use all the time in the production web apps I've built. And I'm excited to talk about it because I feel like I actually really believe in this array method. And so, enough jibber jabber, let's jump in. So, what I have here is I have a collection of objects here stored in an array, which is an extremely common way to store data in a production web application. So think about this as this is your web app, and it's got a bunch of places that are your favorite places. They each have a type, they each have a name, and they have an active status. So if you think about a web application, you're probably going to open it up to user input or at least admin input. And sometimes it's easy to automatically create one, and you want to automatically create a object with its active status as false, or else it might show up in the home screen of your app, for example. So let's talk about filter here. So filter is it's a method that creates a new array with all elements that pass a test implemented by the provided function. That sounds kind of wordy. It's more simple in practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new array here, and I'm going to put home screen output, for example. So this would be like the list that you're going to print on a user's home screen. And you don't want to just output the database because the database contains objects that are not active yet. This is like what you want to still work on in the back end. You want the true ones, the active ones to show. So in this situation, you would go ahead and reference my places here and then use filter. Okay, so what filter is going to do, and I'm going to use an arrow function for filter here because I could do it the more verbose and like longhand way, but I just am so used to using the like ES6 arrow function way that I'm not even sure I'd be able to do it justice here. So what you pass in here is you can think of filter as like a loop, and it's going to say you want to save to home screen output. My place is filter, and here you're going to let's call it for each place, I want to run it through a function here. And what you want is place dot active to be true. And I think that's actually all I need to do right there because just doing this will assess whether place dot active is true. I could be wrong, but only way to really find out is to console log home screen output, and let's just see what we get here. Let's run node, filter, and let me pull this up a little bit. Okay, so that did work. What we can see is that home screen output now is an array that contains only the objects that met this criteria. And all this does is say, is each place that we're looping through here active? And if it's true, it adds it to home screen output. If it's not, it does not. So as you can see down here, this is our array of only active places. So that is literally as simple as filter can be. And you can do things like multiple criteria here. So I could say, is place active and type equal to cafe, for example. And this will change our output, and I will demonstrate that down here. Uh-oh, I've done something wrong. Type. Oh, of course. So I need to say place.type, not just type. Sorry about that. So there we go. We get our one active cafe with this filter. And honestly, that is filter. It's super simple to use. You basically pass in a function, and it loops through the array that filter is run on and assesses whether it only returns true. It only returns places that are true when they pass through this function. Sorry, I'm doing a bad job verbalizing this, but I think it's pretty clear how this works in this example. And it's a short video. I don't want to make it too complex, but that is the power of filter, and filter is amazing. Just remember things to remember, it creates a new array. So it does not change the existing array, and it's super powerful for um, kind of filtering through a large database to get what you want and display it to the user.